I saw a commercial last year for a reality dating show, and the concept grabbed my attention. It was a standard dating show format. A couple of girls chase after a guy and are slowly eliminated till the last one stands. But there was a twist. Instead of one guy, there were two. One was worth $10 million. The other man was not worth that much. Now, unfortunately, one of my favorite pastimes is watching the inevitable downfall of cable television. I figured I'd watch one episode, indulge myself, have a laugh, and then leave it be. But there was one moment, right in the beginning, that hooked me. Simply because of how egregiously bad it was. After that, I had to watch the rest of the series. And I'll explain why, but first let me lay the foundation of this show.
Welcome to Joe Millionaire, for richer or poorer.
Let's meet the guys. We got two bachelors this time. Both of them are hot, both of them are CEOs, and both of them are looking for love. Kirk lives in the North Carolina city and works in construction. Steven lives in small-town Missouri and works in the farming industry. They may come from very different backgrounds, but they have one thing in common. Money keeps getting in the way of their love lives. Now, when I first heard this, I thought, hey, maybe this will be a neat introspective into how monetary status affects people's relationships. Of course, that's not the case. This is a reality dating show. It's not that deep. Steven's the millionaire, by the way. And while Kurt's doing well for himself, he's by no means a millionaire. The dates will be told that one of them is a millionaire, but they won't know who it is until the end of the show. We're also introduced to our lovely host, Martin, the butler. He's basically the voice of what the show wants to be and make sure things stay on the right track. There's not that many instances where a British butler is needed, and this isn't one of them, but he definitely has his fair share of fun moments.
What I have witnessed has been traumatic. Things have gotten, shall we say, a little spicy.
Finally, a little peace and quiet. You are special. I look at you right now, and I see a beautiful young lady.
Would you like to ring the bell?
Well, now that the guys are here, let's bring on the girls. 18 wonderful candidates for the guys to date and choose from. They step out of their limousines, all dressed up and ready to potentially meet their man. But they get a surprise. Instead of one hot guy on the balcony, there's two. I mean, they're just freaking stoked. Not only do you have two hot men on the balcony, but your odds just doubled. 1 in 9 chances, those are good odds. Surely nothing can go wrong the very first night. Of course something went wrong the very first night. This is Caroline.
Are you guys gonna hang out with us, or? Yeah, okay, come on. I know the first time.
I look over at the girls, and I recognize a face. Her name is Caroline.
Hey, we need to talk. Come here.
Same. I'm sure you're.
Caroline and I have never met in person, but we follow each other on social media. If she knows who I am and follows me on social media,
Check it on the boys. Let's see how they're doing.
she knows that I have a helicopter. She's seen my lifestyle and has got to know that I have money. This is going to ruin the entire concept of why Kurt and I are here.
Now, unfortunately, this threatens the whole point of the show. The guys came on here for a clean slate, where they wouldn't be judged for their monetary status. So, unfortunately, because Caroline knows who's who, they have to make the tough call and send her home. It's rough, but it makes perfect sense. Until you start to think about it. These are the 16 people in charge of casting. They come from a company called Cornwall Casting. You're telling me not a single one of them thought to do a standard background check? Make sure that she wasn't following any of the guys on social media? Not a single one thought to do that? Now, at first I just brushed this off and thought, oh, this is just a stupid accident. But these are professionals. They've done dozens of other shows. And they have to have been on the Instagram at least once because that's how the show was primarily casted.
What was the process for you like getting cast on this show?
Yeah, so Cornwall Casting totally just slid into my DM.
I was sent a message on Instagram last January, so January 2021.
Yeah,
That's
they slid in my DMs.
How did you come to be on Joe Millionaire, for richer or for poorer?
So they actually found me on Instagram.
So then I thought, okay, this has to have been done on purpose for whatever reason. I don't know what the motive could have been. Maybe they want to prove the sanctity of the show to the audience. First off, from a moral standpoint, kind of a gray area. This was filmed during COVID time, so you had Caroline quarantined by herself for 2 weeks, flew her to Atlanta, got her all hyped up to not only potentially meet her man, but to be on national television, and then you send her home 15 minutes later. I don't know, kind of a shitty thing to do. But second off, I don't even care what the motive could have been. If this was done with purpose, it could have gone so wrong so quickly. Ladies, welcome to Joe Millionaire. This is an amazing opportunity for you to fall for one of our lovely bachelors. But there's a twist. One of the bachelors is worth $1 million and the other is not. And you won't know who is who until the end of the show. Steven! What? Hey, it's me, Caroline. It's been a while. Ladies, this is your guy. He's fucking loaded. No, I'm not. Yes, you are, Steven. I've seen your Instagram. Ladies, let me show you his Instagram. Optionally, you don't have to do that. You really don't have to do that. Yeah, see, look at that. That's his own helicopter. He owns a helicopter. It's actually a very economical mode of transportation. It's not, Steven. I know. It's not. This is the moment that hooked me. I needed to find out, does this show even know what they're doing? Or is it just filled with complete oversights and bad decisions? Spoiler alert, I think it's the latter. Let's return to the theme of the show. In an attempt to stand apart from other dating shows, they went with a theme of money. Specifically, rich versus poor. Is it a good theme? That's up for you to decide. But the theme is completely abandoned by the end of the show. Episode 1, Kurt and Steven split up. Kurt goes to the Grand Cotillion Ball, while Steven goes to the honky-tonk bar down the street. Episode 2, The Opera House versus bowling, the poor people's sport. Episode 4, on the camping getaway, some have luxurious beds, while others have to sleep on the ground. Egads, Marjorie, sleeping on the ground, that's what the homeless do. Or worse, people who go camping. Unfortunately, that's pretty much it. The final episodes are dedicated to meeting the families and having the final one-on-one dates. But even then, I think they were starting to run out of ideas. Take episode 6.
That king will have a classic fairy tale date. Gowns, horse, carriage and all.
Oh, horses. Horses are for the rich.
Our king that has been dethroned will have a more humble version of a fairy tale date. Transportation will include a pickup truck and an inflatable castle.
Oh, that's clever. Bouncy castles. As we all know, inflatable things are for poor people. Oh man, this theme is really good. Wait, Martin, how do we decide who goes where?
The first station, you're going to toss 7 hay bales.
Okay, so 7 hay bales. Hay bales are poor.
Then you're going to take the tractor tire and you need to flip it 3 times before moving on. The second station, you will each pop 10 bottles of champagne and fill the glasses.
Of
the
Jesus
third
Christ,
station,
Martin, slow down.
5 large watermelons. The final station, you'll be putting on a complete tuxedo ensemble.
Who wants to go to the bounce house?
Okay, so if I got this right, you're telling me smashing watermelons doesn't represent the high life? I don't know, Martin. I've always seen watermelons as at least middle class. The funny thing is, I think both of the guys want to go to the bouncy castle, but Kurt ended up going on the horse and carriage ride because he really wanted to wear that crown. I mean, look at it. It's a magnificent crown. So now that we've established the theme, or lack of, let's get to the real substance of the show. The romance. I'm sorry, it's the drama. We all know it's the drama. I'll go more in depth in a few minutes with the guys specifically, but let's first look at the cast as a whole. Obviously, with a limited runtime, there's not a chance for everyone to stand out, but there are a few that call attention to themselves. We got Rachel. She quits. Whenever she's on camera, she's seen as either anxious, crying, or very drunk. I'm sorry, Rachel. Suzette stood out to me as I am here for the millionaire and nothing else.
I would love a man that can take care of me. I want a big diamond rock, okay? 10, 12 carat, is that big enough?
Another person that got a lot of screen time was Brianna. No particular reason.
Brianna?
Daddy Martin!
Oh dear.
And then my favorite mess of a person has to be Sarah Rose. She causes drama at Kurt's date in episode 1.
I wasn't laughing at your face. I was laughing at the situation.
She causes an uproar during elimination in episode 2.
Can I help you, my dear?
Can I steal Kurt for a second?
And she gets eliminated in episode 3 after professing her love to Winston.
What's his name? He's so cute.
Yeah, he is.
I can't. I can't stop. I want out of him. If I get eliminated, the first thing I want to do is
His number.
get his number.
Well, apparently they've actually gone on a few dates, so hope it works out for them.
So you guys clearly follow each other on the gram. It doesn't take a lot to figure that out. So we ask you now, have you seen Winston since you arrived back to Los Angeles?
Yes.
That's not enough drama. Time for the producers to introduce something. The coin! The gold coin. The winners of the gold coin can use it for an hour of the guy's time anytime they want.
And when that hour occurs is entirely up to you.
It's 2 in the morning. What the hell do you want?
I have this golden coin.
Most importantly, they can use the gold coin to interrupt someone else's date. Think of the drama then. That's what Jenny does. It backfires horribly. Her using the coin basically made Steven realize, I'd rather be spending my time with the person I was with. So she's eliminated right after that. So yeah, sure, while the coin was good for half an episode of drama, overall the drama suffered as a whole. But by far, the most drama comes from one of the finalists. Let's talk about Kurt and the star of the contestants, Carolyn. On the very first night while Steven is dealing with Caroline, Kurt discovers Carolyn, and there is just an instant attraction between the two. Their first real time together is in episode 2 where Kurt picks Carolyn to go on the bowling date with him. And they basically reaffirm, yes, we both think the other is really hot. Let's learn more about each other. Basically, Kurt's storyline is centered entirely around will he pick Carolyn. Unfortunately, there are 2 main problems with Carolyn. First, Carolyn has a son, and while they are separated, the father is still in the picture. This isn't a problem on its own. The problem comes from that whenever Kurt brings up the subject to figure out how it would work, where he would fit in if they dated after the show, Carolyn is seen to immediately shut down any conversation.
It's also worry about, you're kind of tied to one spot forever. So that means my family is tied to that same spot.
So I guess, what's the point? If I give in to that, fear that you have.
It's not a fear, it's just a real concern.
I know, it is a real
I feel
concern.
like you've been not validating that. And you're quick to shut it down.
The second problem is that Carolyn is a very jealous person. She wants Kurt to be all hers and hers alone. Silly Carolyn, that's not how dating works. When you meet a guy that you really like, he gets to date 15 other girls all at once and slowly figure out that he likes you the most. That's how it works. This rational behavior, makes her the easiest villain to edit. And they're not trying to hide it. The entire show is against her. When Kurt's true frontrunner shows up in episode 3, Amanda, they try to portray it as a case of the logical versus emotional choice, with Carolyn being the siren song trying to beckon the sailor to shore. But if you pay even the slightest attention, you know damn well Carolyn is not winning this, because she's edited to be just the worst person. The other girls don't like her.
Kurt needs an intervention. He needs a Carolyn intervention. She's got you whipped, and you don't even know her.
Kurt's family doesn't like her.
Do you not see in Carolyn your last relationship?
Hell, even Steven doesn't like her.
Personally, I don't think Carolyn is the right girl for Kurt. I just don't see him being at his best when he's with Carolyn.
I'm led to believe that the negativity shown is probably justified just because of how much they're able to use, but that doesn't make a good show. You may have a competition, but if you can read between the lines, you know who's gonna win. And the lines are double-spaced. Here, let me show you just how obvious it is. In the finale, the guys bring their 2 finalists to the altar to tell them who they chose. But before that, the girls profess their love to the guy. I want you to listen to the music for the 2 finalists. See if you can tell the difference.
I just feel like our connection is like unlike anything I've ever had before. I mean, it feels so natural and we just laugh and you make me feel everything I've always wanted to feel.
Some light piano, a little violin. It's bubbly, hopeful even. Makes you think maybe this love can work. Skip to Carolyn.
Ever since first moment we locked eyes, I've been drawn to you.
Hey, Joe, you turned on the true crime podcast music. How about we just have a smidge of subtlety? So, when Kurt ends up not choosing Carolyn, it's not a big, shocking moment. It's just a formality.
Remember when I told you you're the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen? Proves more true tonight looking at you.
Oh, Kurt, you can't say that to someone you're breaking up with at the altar.
Hey, Carolyn, as much as this breaks my heart, my heart belongs to someone else.
Oh wow, who could have seen that coming? I'm shocked to my core.
You want to say something?
Can I go now?
Wait, if Kurt is just dealing with these two girls, what happened to the other 15?
Let's go to the pool.
This show does try to portray some brotherly rivalry as the guys compete for the girls, but Kurt really is only heavily interested in his two frontrunners. So Steven is able to just go full playboy and get to know the girls. He's a complete dog. The man is kissing anyone he can.
I hope you feel the same way.
Yeah.
So,
Steven is the one calling the shots during elimination, but also the most open to most of the girls. I actually quite like Steven. He's presented as very logical to me. In his confessions, he's always level-headed. He never really makes any rash decisions. And with either eliminating or even with keeping someone on the show, he's able to explain why he made that decision. The main problem with Steven's storyline is the exact opposite of Kurt's. Kurt's storyline was too predictable. Steven's storyline doesn't make any sense. When I first watched the show, the frontrunner to me was Annie. They seemed to be bonding, having good dates, getting to know each other, and she ended up being one of his finalists. But Steven instead chose Calla. Who's Calla, you might be asking? That one, I said, second-guessing myself. When I first watched this show, the decision came completely out of left field to me. I didn't remember Calla was even on the show. When I rewatched the show for this video, I took notes. What is wrong with me? I decided to take notes of every time Steven and Calla interacted to see if I just missed something, wasn't paying attention. Again, let's compare the finalists. Annie is one of the first people Steven kisses in episode 2. They have additional one-on-one time in episodes 4 and 5, and Steven picks her for his date on episode 6. Episode 7, the family episode, involves a heavy storyline with her family, asking if their lifestyles would match if they ended up dating. Episode 8 through 10 is pretty much the same for everyone. Steven's family doesn't really set a preference, and 9 and 10 refer to the final dates. But we have the foundation of a relationship shown to us in 5 of the 7 episodes. Let's compare that to Calla. Episode 3 is Calla and Steven's first instance of one-on-one time. Nope, that's it. Episode 5 has the only real instance of Steven showing favoritism towards Calla, and how she's still closed off and he wants to crack the Calla code, as he puts it.
it's incredible. Like, she loves to do the things that I love.
Yeah.
She's a Dallas girl. Problem is, the damn Calla code is so hard to crack.
Allow me to crack it, Steven. She's just not that into you. Okay, I don't mean to bash Calla. This is likely the fault of bad editing. Steven chose Calla, and there's definitely a reason for that. But for some reason, they decided that the audience shouldn't see why. And that's just bad editing. Okay, now I'm gonna bash Calla. I don't think she cares about you, Steven. Again, it's possible this is just bad editing and nothing more. But every time she's on camera, I don't think she is interested in either of the guys. Even in the profession of love in the finale, there is just nothing behind those eyes.
Forming this undeniable connection that we have together just really exceeded all my expectations. I'm excited and I'm feeling butterflies and I am just anxious as to what is about to happen.
I can't say I've ever felt this way about someone before, mainly because my processing function isn't strong enough for emotions. So that's the show. But that's not the end. As any dating show enthusiast knows, we need to find out, did the couple stick together? Let's start out with Steven and Calla. Did they stick together? Okay, 7 months. Sure, it didn't work out. But for reality shows, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a committed relationship. Kudos to you two for trying to make it work. Maybe we can get a more clearer picture with the other couple. Whatever happened to Kurt and Amanda? 1 month? Are you kidding me? And Kurt tried to get back to Carolyn? That's rough, buddy. Well, hey, 0 for 2, not a good look for the show. But wait! There's a third romance I completely forgot about. Whatever happened to Sarah Rose and Winston? Did they end up together? No, of course not. Why would you think that worked? Winston seems to have bounced back well, though, so congrats to him. I hope that works out for you, Winston, but for now, it seems you're the only one who's in love, making you the true Joe Millionaire. This show could have been so much more than it was. This is Fox's attempt to... This is on Fox, by the way. This is an attempt by Fox to potentially make a show that could rival The Bachelor. It could have stood out from the dating shows with a similar structure, but in execution, it just didn't work out that way. You remember the whole money theme that they went with? It really did not matter at all. The big climax ended up being Kurt saying, "I'm actually not the millionaire," and Amanda going, "Yeah, I don't care, I still like you," for a month. So then the only real thing that could separate the show was having two guys. And I guess it kinda did that, but there wasn't any real conflict. The guys didn't fight over any of the girls, really, and most of the girls quickly figured out which one they were going for, so there wasn't many I choose you moments. Having two bachelors ended up doing absolutely nothing for the show.
I guess it's better than, just one guy.
How is it better? Please, enlighten me.
Whether or not this show is good probably comes down to your personal preference. If you like these types of shows, this is probably right up your alley. Me, though, I did not like it. I thought the storyline was a weak ending. But let's bring it back to the main question, the whole reason I stuck it out. Does this show know what they're doing? I don't think so. There are a few good dates and human moments, but overall, the show just feels empty and devoid of any real direction. I've also concluded that the whole Caroline thing has to be an accident. It has to, right? What could possibly be the reason? But even more than production for not having that many interesting moments, or casting for just fumbling right out the gate, the thing I'm most disappointed in is the editing in the show. There's not a very clear storyline, lines are spliced together for an artificial feel, and in the end I was just left unsatisfied by it all. I guess if I had to summarize everything,
what I have witnessed has been traumatic.